For about 8 years, I didn't really move forward in life. Not because I was lazy, and not because I didn't want to work. It was because I slowly, almost without noticing, lost my identity. I forgot who I was and what I cared about. This video isn't advice. I'm not here to teach or motivate anyone. I don't have the answers. This is just a reflection on what long-term stagnation does to a person's spirit, and what I'm slowly learning as I try to rebuild. It's about the small, difficult steps of starting again, from a place where you feel like nothing. In my 20s, I moved overseas. First Singapore, then Italy. I worked really hard, and I was earning good money. My life had structure, a solid routine. It gave me a strong sense of self-respect. Back then, my identity was simple. I worked, I contributed, I stood on my own 2 feet. It felt like I had it all figured out, you know? That sense of purpose was everything. This is where you might want to lean in a little closer. See, then life fractured that structure I had built so carefully. There were family issues, moving back home, and a business that completely failed. Then came marriage, which led to another big relocation. Nothing collapsed all at once. It wasn't some huge dramatic explosion. Instead, it all just dissolved, slowly, piece by piece. And that's exactly how your identity can disappear. Not with a bang, but quietly, almost without you noticing. Here's the thing I really learned. When structure disappears, motivation doesn't save you. It's just not enough to keep you going when the guardrails are gone. That feeling of being lost can creep in so subtly, like you're stuck in a holding pattern, gathering information, waiting for that magical feeling of readiness. I've been there. For years, I was convinced I just needed one more insight to get unstuck. I dove deep into psychology, explored different spiritual paths, and even got into day trading, all in the hope that clarity would finally give me the push I needed. But you know what I discovered? Insight without a plan is just a prettier form of procrastination. You can have all the self-awareness in the world, but if you don't build a structure to act on it, you'll just keep spinning your wheels. The real change happens when you stop waiting to feel ready and start building the habits that move you forward. I came across this quote, and it hit me hard. It says, "The hardest part wasn't money. It was dependence." When a person who used to stand on their own stops contributing, something erodes quietly inside them. Not confidence, dignity. This is so incredibly relatable. It's not just about the financial aspect of being independent. It's about that feeling of purpose, of being able to contribute, of holding your own space in the world. When that's taken away, it chips away at something deeper, at your very sense of self-worth. It's a quiet struggle that many people face, but few talk about. Ever feel like you're just waiting for a miracle to happen? A sudden breakthrough or a bolt of inspiration to finally change your life? I used to think that way too, constantly searching for that one big moment of motivation. But what really started to change things for me was on some grand motivational speech or a wave of positivity. It was accepting something a little uncomfortable. I didn't need more inspiration. I needed structure. Instead of waiting for a miracle, I started making small, manageable commitments. I set clear limits for myself, defining what I would and wouldn't do each day. It was a humble re-entry into building good habits. No huge leaps, just one small, structured step at a time. That's where the real, lasting change began. It's not about finding a spark. It's about building the fire, piece by piece. You can't just float away from your problems. True peace isn't about escaping reality. It's about facing it with a calm mind. Imagine your life as a house that needs rebuilding after a storm. You can't just wish it back together. You need discipline. You need a plan. You have to show up every day, brick by brick, and patiently put things back in place. That's what real strength is. It's the ability to stay present and focused, even when things are messy. It's about rebuilding your world, one slow, intentional step at a time. That's where you find lasting peace, not in running away, but in the steady work of rebuilding. I'm not finished. I'm not a guru, and I'm definitely not teaching enlightenment. This channel is simply a place where I document my own inner work, as honestly as I can. It's a record of the process, the ups and the downs, the quiet moments, and the breakthroughs. If you find yourself in a quiet reset of your own, if you're on a similar path of self-discovery, then you are so welcome to walk alongside me. We can figure things out together, or just be in our own process, in company. It's about the journey, not the destination. That's all for today.